Hello, this is Joan with Coffee Reviews, and today we'll be reviewing day 12 of KaffeBox's Advent Calendar, featuring the Caballero Pacamara Washed Honduras from Tim Wendelboe. And there's the container right there. Alright, let's talk about Tim Wendelboe. So, this one right here is a really big deal for me. I have heard about Tim Wendelboe for many years from many highly respected coffee people. When it comes to the coffee circle, this is probably the most talked about coffee roaster from Norway. I can't begin to express how many positive things I've heard about this coffee roaster, and I personally have never tried them for one reason and one reason alone. I was simply waiting for a special experience, whether it be going to their cafe and trying it in person in Oslo, or whether it be running into them at a coffee shop here in the United States, anywhere. I just wanted a great story for my first time ever trying Tim Wendelboe because my expectations were kind of through the roof. And being on this advent calendar and seeing the name, I'm like, okay, perfect. This is a perfect opportunity for me to try it. May not be quite the same, but we'll give this a shot. And for anyone that isn't familiar, Tim Wendelboe is a world barista champion in 2004, I want to say. Yep. And they're based out of Oslo, Norway. The accolades just rain in with this coffee roaster, and let's start talking a little bit about the coffee. Brew recipe for this one, I was happy to see on the Instagram page that I was going back to my 16.6 to 1, which is my preferred recipe. And I brewed at 201. Roast profile, of course, a standard light Nordic roast. But let's go ahead and start talking about the coffee. Okay, so the first impression I got with the aroma from the bloom was it smelled pretty chocolatey and pretty nutty. And after I poured the coffee and took my first sip, again, pretty chocolatey, pretty nutty, but the thing I was getting the most was some pretty strong caramel. So the best way I described it off its initial taste was caramelized nuts with a slight bit of chocolate. As it had cooled down, I was getting some nice grapey flavors, maybe some raisins, which was pretty nice, pretty prominent. The caramel was probably the most notable thing throughout. And as I'm sipping this, it's cooled down just a little bit. Probably the chocolate and the grape are definitely the most prominent things here as it's cooled down, probably a little above room temperature now. And the flavor notes they have listed on here, the taste profile, they have stone fruit, grape, and red berries. And being as completely honest as I can, I didn't get a lot of the stone fruit and I didn't get a lot of the red berries. I don't think I could see the red berries either. I think I've always had difficulty picking out two coffees, the Kenya and the Pacamaras. I really enjoy Pacamara, but I can never seem to get the fruity flavor notes that are listed on those. And I have a lot of experience with Pacamara, and I really like Pacamara. Kenya, I can never seem to pick out those flavors either. Let me go ahead and put up the tasting wheel though so you can see what I was getting. And three things at the highest: pretty clean cup of coffee, pretty heavy body, and then the caramel pretty high, chocolate pretty high as well. And of course saltiness is at a 3 because the nuts and the berry fruit, being the grape, was the most prominent thing I was getting. Berry fruit's relatively high compared to the rest of the wheel as well. So I'm going to do something controversial that I've been thinking about since I first tried this coffee, and I'm going to compare it to my experiences. This coffee reminds me a lot of sweet bloom coffees I had, which for me is a massive compliment, and I feel like some people might look at that as controversial because of how they view the roast profiles for these two coffee roasters. But sweet bloom is so special to me because I've always felt that it's their washed Central Americans that really stand out. It always amazed me how they could get such beautiful flavors from those coffees, and I think they did an amazing job of getting out beautiful flavors from this coffee, even if I wasn't able to taste a lot of those fruitier things. So pretty much what I'll say is I really enjoyed this coffee. I feel like it was a nice break from a lot of the naturals I've been having through this advent calendar, but at the same time I don't know that I was blown away. I probably had too high of standards and was expecting this maybe to be the greatest cup of coffee I'd ever had, or one of the greatest cups of coffee I'd ever had. And to be fair, it's been one of the best cups of coffee I've had from this advent calendar so far, so it did a really amazing job. But I think that's the only knock, is it wasn't the best cup of coffee I've ever had. Stunning cup of coffee nonetheless. So who would I suggest this cup of coffee to? And again, I feel like this is controversial, and I will be always honest with this channel. I feel like people that do enjoy those Central American sweet bloom coffees, I feel like this has that same sort of thing. Maybe not as sweet, maybe a little bit more balanced and slightly less acidic overall, but I can't help but compare these two to each other, and that's as big a compliment as I think I can give a coffee roaster for me, given how much I love sweet bloom. I mean, they're in all my videos. So I'll leave it at that. Kind of weird, crazy review. I'm dying to try their second coffee as well, see what I get from that one, but I would love to know your thoughts on Tim Wendelboe, especially if you've tried this coffee. If you're enjoying the content, give this video a like and subscribe if you're not already subscribed. But this right here has been a review of the Caballero Pacamara Washed Honduras from Tim Wendelboe. Thank you for watching.